First, let me start by saying the best serial killer in America does not have a catchy name. You don't know the number of victims he has. You don't know his or her methodology because this alpha predator has not been caught. But here are some serial killers whom have. The top 5 serial killers in America. Number 5, John Alam Muhammad. He is known as the DC Sniper, aka Beltway Sniper. He was born on December the 31st, 1960. Subsequently, he died on November the 10th, 2009 via lethal injection. John Muhammad, a Baton Rouge, Louisiana native, along with his partner in crime and accomplice Lee Boyd Malvoy, age 17, a native of Kingston, Jamaica, carried out the DC Sniper attacks on October 2002, which killed 10 people. This Marine sniper was moving through Washington, D.C. so covertly. While at the height of the killing spree, the police and citizens were looking for a white male in a white van. Unbeknownst to everyone, it turned out to be 2 black males in a 1990 Chevrolet Caprice. The purpose of Muhammad's killing spree was to kill his estranged ex-wife because they were having custody issues. The reason John Muhammad makes this list is that his methodology of his kills, the randomness, is a very scary concept for people to wrap their minds around. They were killing kids, women, and old people. It did not matter. Number 4, John Wayne Gacy, aka the Killer Clown. John Wayne Gacy was born on March 17, 1942 and died May 10, 1994 via lethal injection. He was known as the Killer Clown, who assaulted and murdered at least 33 young men and boys. While Gacy was on a murder spree, he would perform at a children's hospital. Gacy was known to the unsuspected crowd and staff members as Pogo the Clown or Patches the Clown. To Gacy, he committed all his murders inside his ranch house in Chicago, Illinois. Typically, he would lure the victims into the home, dupe them into donning handcuffs on the pretext of demonstrating a magic trick, then rape and torture his captives before killing them either with asphyxiation or strangulation with a garrote. 26 victims were buried in a crawl space in Gacy's home, and 3 others were buried elsewhere throughout the property. John Wayne Gacy makes this list because he was a good serial killer due to how unassuming he was, and he was a good member in the society. The only people who truly knew who John Wayne Gacy was his ex-wife and his victims. Number 3, Gary Ridgway. He is known as the Green River Killer. He was born February 18, 1949. Most of the Ridgway victims were alleged to be sex workers and other women in vulnerable circumstances, including underage runaways. The press gave him his nickname after his first 5 victims were found in the Green River. He strangled his victims usually by hand, but sometimes using ligatures. After strangling them, he would dump their bodies in forest or overgrown areas in King County, often returning to the bodies and having sexual intercourse with them. As of right now, Gary Ridgway has been convicted of 49 killings. As part of his plea bargain, he was to tell authorities where the other bodies were. Number 2, Joseph James D'Angelo. He is known as the Golden State Killer. He was born November the 8th, 1945. This guy was known as a serial killer, a serial rapist, a burglar, and a former police officer who committed at least 13 murders, 50 rapes, and 120 burglaries across California between 1974 and 1986. This guy was busy. D'Angelo was responsible for at least 3 crime sprees throughout California, each of which spawned a different nickname in the press. before it became evident that these crimes were committed by the same person. He was known as the facility ransacker. He then moved to Sacramento area where he became the East Area Rapist. He also had hunting grounds in Stockton and Modesto, Santa Barbara, Ventura. He was also linked in Orange County where he was known as the Night Stalker. Come to find out, Joseph James DeAngelo is the original Night Stalker. On April 24, 2018, authorities charged 72-year-old DeAngelo with 8 counts of first-degree murder. Based upon DNA evidence, investigators had identified members of DeAngelo's family through forensic genetic genealogy. DeAngelo had crimes on at least 87 victims. Number 1, Samuel Little. This guy doesn't even have a catchy serial killer name. This man was just a straight up outlaw. He did whatever he wanted, whenever he wanted, how often he wanted. Most people don't know, but Sam Little is known as the most prolific serial killer in the United States history. Sam Little confessed to at least 93 murders. One of those confessions got a man out of prison who was wrongfully convicted for one of Little's crimes. Authorities knew who Little was all along. He has been arrested in 8 states for crimes including driving under the influence, fraud, shoplifting, solicitation, armed robbery, aggravated assault and rape, as well as murder. Sam Little allegedly murdered women across 19 states over 35 years, ending around 2005. Sam Little's fascination with strangling women began at a young age. Sam stated that it started when he was in kindergarten when he saw his teacher grabbing at her neck. This fixation would follow a young Sam Little throughout his adulthood, and he could no longer keep it inside. He began acting on his fantasies, which led him to be one of America's most notorious serial killers. If you want more of this content, check this video out in the corner so you can get your true crime fix. I'm Tim That Talks. See you in the next video.